Let's face it, conflict is uncomfortable. Whether it's a disagreement with a coworker, tension with your manager, or that one team member who always seems to challenge you. Conflict can make even the calmest professional lose their cool. But here's the truth. Conflict isn't the enemy. Poor conflict management is. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down how to handle conflict without losing your cool. Now, in today's fast-paced hybrid work culture, we interact with people across time zones, cultures, personalities, often through screens. That means miscommunication happens easily, emotions rise faster, and small misunderstandings can quickly turn into major issues. Conflict isn't always bad. It can spark growth and innovation. The problem is how we respond to it. Because every workplace has conflict, whether between co-workers, departments, or even within teams by themselves. The key here that we're trying to drive at in this particular video is not in the avoidance of conflict, but in learning how to manage it properly and so that it builds and builds and builds. Because when conflict is handled well, it can build trust, improve communication, and spark innovation. Now, here are some common reasons why people overreact. First, they feel unheard or disrespected. Perhaps they feel, oh, this person in particular doesn't respect my opinion or doesn't respect what I'm trying to present. And so they shout louder so they can feel like they are being heard. There's always that emotional response where you feel like if I yell my voice louder, maybe they respect me more. The second one is personal triggers or past experiences. In a previous video, we've looked at personal triggers, we've looked at emotional triggers. And in dealing with conflict management, it's key to know what your emotional triggers are. The third is a lack of emotional control under pressure, and of course, fear of confrontation. There is an element of logic that needs to be at the forefront of everything you do, especially in this aspect of discourse we're having. Because when emotions take over, logic takes a back seat. And it's very difficult to recognize what exactly you are feeling, how you can compose yourself properly if you are just high on emotion. Because most people overreact, not because they can't understand what you're saying, but they feel like maybe you're coming after them personally. Maybe they feel disrespected. Maybe they feel like, oh, I don't want to have a fight with this person. And so they immediately go straight to emotion. And that breaks down the conversation and then colors everything after that to make it unfortunate. So here are some steps. We'll be going through a few steps you can take in learning how to manage conflict properly. There's a quote here that I really love from Albert Einstein, which says, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved through understanding. So here's the first step. Pause before you react. The first step is to first pause. Take a breath, step away if needed, respond, but don't react. The important thing here is we don't want to be reactionary. So if you feel you are not able to respond and you feel like you're going to be reacting, it's very important at this stage to take a breath. When something upsets you, the first impulse is usually emotional, to defend yourself or fire back. But the calmest leaders know that response beats reaction. Take a step away if you need to. Maybe you tell the person, I'd like to revisit this conversation when we both had a moment to think. That small pause helps you shift from emotion to logic, and that's where real leadership begins. The next point is listen to understand. Most conflicts escalate because we're too busy forming our own next argument instead of listening. Active listening sounds like this: hear what you're saying, and I'd like to understand your own points better. Because when people feel they are heard, their defenses drop and real dialogue can begin. When someone says, I understand where you're coming from, it is difficult to get mad at that person. It's difficult to be emotional in that moment because you feel this person is hearing me fully and they respect what I'm trying to say. It is very important in this point to avoid interrupting or planning your own next point as the person is talking. You need to make sure that you are listening clearly. Next is your tone and body language. As much as possible, keep your voice calm, maintain an open posture, and avoid sarcasm or dismissive gestures. Most of the things that cause issues in workspaces or even among colleagues is not so much what you say, it's how you say it. Because they will interpret it the way they will hear it from you. And so the way you deliver the message determines how the message is then received. So it is very important to maintain a good understanding, a good grip on your body language and on your tone of voice. Next step is to focus on solutions and not blame. Ask, how can we fix this? What do we both need to move forward? What's one thing we can agree on? All these questions help you to, first and foremost, avoid blame, avoid things that would cause high emotional responses, and help you to break down the arguments in a way that is meaningful to both of you. So it's not me against you, it's us against the problem because you're not actually fighting with the person, you're trying to deal with the situation on hand. So ask them, as you said, how can we fix this? What do we both need to move forward? And what's one thing we can agree on? Step 5 is follow, reflect, and follow up. After the conflict has been resolved, reflect on what you learned. Check on the person later. This is what actually helps you to build trust and deeper relationships with your colleagues and your work in your workspaces. Because it's not just a question of, oh, we had a disagreement, we resolved it amicably, and then we never spoke about it again. It's always important, not in a way to push blame and not in a way to be sarcastic, but it's always important to check back with the individual after the conflict has been resolved to find out how they're doing and try and rebuild the relationship from that point. Here are some bonus tips for you. Stay self-aware of your emotional triggers. As we said earlier, we discussed emotional triggers in a previous video. You're very free to check that out as well. Practice empathy daily. Learn to apologize sincerely. And if needed, this is the if needed, bring in a neutral mediator. It is very critical when you bring in someone into a conflict to make sure that they are not neutral. They don't side with you, they don't side with the individual. They are only going to be focused on the problem. So, yeah, next steps that we're going to close out with. Conflict doesn't have to drain you. It can shape you into a wiser, more grounded leader. Because the truth is, conflict is inevitable. but losing your cool doesn't have to be. Every disagreement is a chance to practice emotional intelligence, empathy, and leadership under pressure. So the next time tension rises, remember, you don't have to match the energy in the room. You can set it. With that being said, leave me a comment down below to let me know what's one strategy you use to stay calm during conflict. And if you're interested in getting a customized personal growth plan, the link is in the bio. And please subscribe for more mental health and leadership insights. Thanks you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time.
Okay, let's go.